China is to provide a $7.5 million grant to Ghana for the purchase of military equipment. Memorandum of Understanding was signed today at the Defense Ministry. The acceptance of gift by some key state agencies from the Chinese government generated some controversy in the recent past. Critics argue that the acceptance of such gifts could compromise how Ghana deals with some Chinese nationals who have flouted Ghana's laws on illegal mining. But the Defense Minister has downplayed that suggestion, stating it cannot influence the country's position in any way. We can now hear from Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwu providing details of that Memorandum of Understanding and his response to a possible Chinese influence.
They agreed to give the Ghana Armed Forces military aid for us to use it for whatever we believe we want to use it for. And they also decided to fulfill the pledge they made to Ghana last year that they will give us patrol boats. The biggest problem we have is that the Navy is down with boats. And so our coastline is not as rigorously guarded as we have wished, especially the eastern sides. So we appealed to them and they decided they would help us with boats. And so they decided to fulfill that promise when the Vice President, when he reminded them about it, and they decided to fulfill that promise of bringing the patrol boats. So by this month, the patrol boats will be here. And then they will be sending 6 people to Ghana to train our Navy on the usage of the patrol boats. So the people will be arriving this July also, and we'll sign the formal receiving ceremony in August to be able to get the patrol boats in. And so there are 2 basic things that we are doing. But the signing today is basically on the finance side that they are giving us, the new package that the Vice President was able to get, the 50 remembers. That's what we signed today. But the help is actually 2. We have the patrol boats and this money. And these are all given to it. They also agreed to give us another 100 remedies. The Vice President decided with the government that they will use it to empower the police, buy cars from China to empower the police, so that we can have police visibility and fight crime within the country. So they've really done very well. I mean, the sort of goodies that the Vice President brought from China, it's something that has not happened before. And the way the Chinese themselves received the Ghanaian delegation there is something that we ourselves should be very proud of.
There was also talk about providing scholarship for some of our military men to go and study.
Yes, in fact, before the ambassador left for China, she had offered through, the government had offered through her the issue of giving our troops, our men and women in the Ghana Armed Forces scholarships. In fact, they offered us 28 slots. And it's a full scholarship from your air tickets right here in Ghana to China and back. And also the fact that the tuition is free, the food you eat is going to be free, and they will even give you some stipends, some small resource for you to be able to manage. So,
what do you make of what some critics are saying, that we are fighting the some Chinese nationals because of Galamsey and all of that, and receiving these goodies from them can actually compromise our position on
let me tell you that our laws are our laws. It has nothing to do with anybody. In fact, there are more other nationals at that particular place doing that kind of work than even these Chinese people. There are a lot of other nationals out there. There are Ukrainians, there are Russians, there are Canadians, there are Indians. There are so many different groups of people. It is us, and the West Africans are even far more. Those from Burkina, those from Togo, and our own people. If you are talking of those who are degrading their lives, our own people who are doing it. I mean, if you are talking of the numbers, it's like 99.something% are Ghanaians. Those who are really involved in that kind of work, they are Ghanaians. So nobody is fighting another group of people. We're just enforcing our laws. It's as simple as that. We want good water for our people to drink. And it doesn't matter who is involved. It's as simple as that. It has nothing to do with that. Yes, the military will move in the next couple of weeks with the police. They'll stay there for about a year to ensure that peace and stability is brought into the area. So there's nothing.
So this will not compromise?
No, not.
Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwo talking Chinese influence, whether or not there will be anything like that here in this country. Well, on her part, the Chinese ambassador Sun Bohan says the illegal mining menace is a complicated one. She promises her outfit will make concerted efforts with the Ghana government to fight it.
And this time, the Chinese government has decided to provide 50 million yuan renminbi grants to the Ghanaian side in military aid. And this is part of the outcome of recent Vice President's trip to China. While congratulating on a very successful visit of Vice President to China, we need to implement the follow-up actions of this visit. So actually signing this agreement is the first step that we implement part of the results coming out of this very successful visit. During VP's visit to China, the two national leaders held successful talks among themselves, and the Chinese Vice President pledged China's support to further expand and deepen our cooperation in military, peace and security affairs.
And is trying very hard to fight illegal mining, and unfortunately there are some Chinese nationals who are in the Ghanaian, who are caught in the Ghanaian grips, participating in the act, taking loans from, gifts, as they call it, from the Chinese government, would compromise their Ghana's government stance on, fighting illegal mining. I don't know what you make of it.
Well, I think that is really very controversial comment. I feel regret for that. I think China and the Ghana cooperation has proved to be very fruitful and vigorous all these years. And it is deepening and expanding because it conforms to the fundamental interest and the long-term interests of peoples. We wish that the media can take a very objective and overall look of China-Ghana relations. Chinese government, we do not sanction Chinese nationals being involved in illegal mining. And this is a very complicated issue in this country. I think we will make concerted efforts with the Ghanaian government to address this issue. Thank you.
The Chinese ambassador to Ghana there. You're still watching The Pulse. We have a lot more stories coming up. Farmers are pushing for the declaration of a state of emergency following the destruction of over 100 acres of yield by army worms. Also, we'll be getting to Kumasi to find out what's happening with the Asante Kotoko players who are responding to treatment at this point. Please stay with us.